Hello. I actually just wanted to record some ideas that I had since in the indie field there's definitely a big activity now happening, and this activity is gonna give more and more products. Um, this is something that is really, really good. We have to acknowledge that the COS cannot anymore, hold all that motion. They cannot follow up with what we're doing. We are expanding. There's more and more people leaving the COS. There's more people really getting up to the point to say what they observed. They're not afraid. So all these things are happening, and more delivery is going to happen. More things are going to be done. So on the occasion of uh, some comments that I did on the Indie Scientologist site on Facebook, the group, I wanted to say some things about the org board that I've been talking about, because on the written income line there is some problem. There is definitely some things which cannot be really communicated in comments. It's a long distance com line. Live communication much easier. So I decided to record this video for some friends, we have been talking about, and a lot of people know that I've been writing about this org board, the 7 division org board, and I wanted to explain a little bit myself. First of all, the org board, as I said yesterday, it doesn't mean that it should be a command org board, a command channel. There's no such thing. In the indie field, I would agree, there can be no person who can take over all that motion that is happening right now and like contain it. The motion is too much, the randomity is too much, the freedom, the word says everything, is too much. So people want to do things as they want. That's ethics. We have moved in another echelon. That, however, does not mean that all this motion cannot and should not be more organized in a way. There's been some efforts, the Debbie Cook thing, when people were asked to give donations by Marty, and people did contribute, and that was something. It was an action of a kind of an org board. All right, so. And to make it clear, an org board is the cycle of action, as we know. The org board is not just a bunch of people, taking orders. That's not the real thing. So the cycle of action could be anything. You could attain any, result, and you can put up there an org board. It doesn't mean that this has to last forever. And to make it clear, I want to say that there could be an org board. There could be some people who work one with another and who would like to actually put there some terminals in order, let's say, for example, to keep track of auditors and say, okay, well, we have auditors there, we have auditors there, we have auditors in Europe, we have auditors in Russia, we have auditors in South Africa, in the US, and such auditor does such and such things. So an org board could be dealing also with such a thing, or some emergency that is coming up. They could be dealing with all these things. It's not that the org board would be like the COS type of thing, that we're now all going to have some orders and this is it. This is not really the only use of an org board. And I wanted to say a few things on the org board so that we can understand. It's like, for example, the org board is the bridge, the awareness characteristics of the bridge turned, horizontally. Maybe you don't know this, but the org board and livingness reference is the reference where he explains all these things. It's the cycle of action. It starts from left, from division 7, and moves, to the right Division 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It can be 6A, 6B, 6C. And I had started, from the beginning, and I was like, we're clearing all these things step by step. But then I got somewhere, it got a little bit, I got confused on the higher levels. Maybe, as you move to the right, it becomes a little bit more difficult to grasp exactly what it is. Because it's a cycle of action, and at the end you have the accomplishment, the success in Division 6. But in the beginning, let's say, I'll give you some examples. You are the source. You are the source at Division 7, so that's Department 21. There you are the source of something. Okay, LRH was the source of that Scientology 7th Division org board. And he had the office of LRH there, and everything that was being done there, the keeper of the tech and all these things. Then he had Department 20, which is the awareness characteristic is existence. There's the legal thing. Okay? That's existence, though. You are a theta, and if you don't have a Department 20, some legal things, you are not non-existent. So that applies, I guess, also to the index. It has to have something there. Of course, you don't need a license to survive. But I'm just saying, in the case of Debbie Cook, for example, they had to have some legal existence there. All right. And if we were stronger, maybe Debbie Cook wouldn't, I don't know. I don't know what happened, I'm not even interested. Anyway, Department 19, as we move on to the right, you have conditions. That's the awareness characteristic, it's conditions. And of course, when you have existence, you have conditions in this physical universe. You see, it goes department by department. You cannot jump, from source to conditions. You have to assume existence, a beingness. You have to assume a beingness, and that's existence. That's Department 20. You cannot jump to Department 19. And you cannot jump to Department 1, which is recognition. And recognition, I remember L. Ray saying in Orbit and Liveness, it's recognition of a condition. You have conditions, and there is a recognition of a condition. That's what Department 1 is. And in terms of personnel and organization, is the people, is the people mainly. It's the hatting and the recruiting of the people, putting somebody's there. And there you have recognition. Then you have communication. Department 2. We all know the importance of communication. Of course, if you have communication, then you have perception. That's how it goes. That's what I just wanted, to point out. Because after perception, you can perceive things. You have some orientation. You smoke a cigarette, you have some perception. You have some orientation. You can actually orient yourself and do, all these actions that are going to be following because you are oriented. And then you have understandings. That's Department 5. Now, it's tricky to see how from orientation you get to understandings. It really also beats me still. I haven't fully gotten that. I have gotten that from recognition, from conditions. Then you have recognition. This is like the next logical step. You see, the order is not just theory. It's not just for Miscavige, to smash people. The order is a philosophical tool. It's something that it goes sequence by sequence. And I'm not going to move on to the rest of the departments because I haven't fully gotten it. I wish there would be somebody, to explain all these things. How do you get, from orientation to understandings, which is actually organizationally, it's the books. It's the books. Understandings was Department 5, and it was the materials, the books published. And then you have the regs in Department 6, which is enlightenment. Okay, I'm trying to think some things, and there's some gaps in my mind. There is some things that haven't been answered. and thus, might be that there is some problems. Um, but I come back to that point that the org board is something to be utilized. It is not a suppressive tool. Admin is not a suppressive tool. Admin has been the only reason why we are here. Apart, from auditing, then it was admin which made it possible for LRH, to put some quantity there and keep it going, because in this universe, of course, we know that we need quantity. A thetan is quality, but a thetan confronted by the mass universe, can go to pieces if you cannot confront quantity. And that's what we are learning, I guess. We are learning to not be just quality, but be able to confront quantity. And you have Miscavige, who is running these things in quantity. He's suppressing in quantities. He has been declaring people left and right in quantities. So he can deal with such things in great speed. You see, that's actually what a thetan is. And the letter theta, permit me to say, because I'm Greek also, so I have done my etymologies and I've been born Greek, so I know, comes from theos, means God, and another Greek word is thos, with theta, omega, and s, and that's the shagal. Shagal is that dog type, like not a wolf, not a dog. Shagal. I don't know if I make this word correct, but this animal has great speed. That's what God is, and that's what a thetan is. Has great speed. Now, how can you develop great speed without any terminals who are in communication? So there is no body there. Because division 3, the end product of division 3, and that's department, let's say 9 if I'm not mistaken, right, is a body, is an organized group of people, That's the body. Division 3 keeps the body there. So, I'm sorry to say, we also have a type of a body. It's not that organized, and it might not even need to be. But it could. It's okay. It's not a bad thing. If there is no suppressives, if there is no bad stuff happening, if people, are being encouraged to communicate and speak their minds as indies, not as robots, that's a big difference. That's what LRH would do. So that's what I wanted to say. Thank you very much. I'm going to upload this video on the Indie Scientology site. And yeah, I want to thank everybody for what they're doing. And of course, we can all contribute to this motion. This is great. Okay, thanks a lot, and bye-bye.